He's one of the dopest engineers in the game. The head engineer exclusively for Prodigy of Mobb Deep. 10 Prodigy of Mobb Deep albums. The Hegelian Dialectic. The Book of Revelation.
It's a pleasure, man. That body of work is crazy. I mean,
Joe the engineer. Now we do this shit, nigga.
333, 33.
That's a sign from the heavens. Just look up in the heavens.
Billy Lyons. What up, homie? Yeah, welcome to motherfucking Beat Boutique. I'm in some physical pain right now. 4-piece, what up? But I will make it through. I made it, I'm here. I will tell you, my left shoulder is screaming at me right now. Not very happy about being alive. Roberto, what up, yo? Fucking hot in here, man. It's time for some green crack. That's what's up. 4-piece, Billy Lyons, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Yo, so the fuck is up, man? I hope everybody who's wishing to participate in August Beat Battle is off and running. You know what's at stake. They have been raised. It's not just a hoodie. There's some stickers and getting your beat mixed by me. Now Big Twin's going to use the winners. So, time to take yourself a little bit more serious. It's dope as fuck because it was his idea. I literally did not ask him. I also just got confirmation from my motherfucking homie Cortez that he will do something for the project. So, confirmed so far for the 333 album. Twin, Unpoc, Nice, The Fox, and Cortez. Cash bills. We got 6 people so far. I got some ideas of who else I want to be on it, but it's really going to be up to Twin to help me figure out that part of it. But you know what's at stake, people. So you know the drill. It's Beat Boutique. Send whatever you're working on to 333beatboutique@gmail.com. And let's make your music sound better, man. That's what we're here for. So, as always, I like to roll the fuck up and play whatever I've been working on. And I can't play you the things that I've been working on. Me and Billy Lyons have been up to something. You will see us on the other side of things, so eventually. But I did kind of finish this beat from Billy Lyons that has now become part of the 333 Pantheon. And yeah, this is going to Twin immediately. I do like, I forget who it was when I was working on this the other day, said that Mega would sound dope on this, so I have to reach out to Mega and see if I can get him to do a verse on this project. It might cost me. It might cost us something, but you guys know the list of rappers that I'm willing to work with is very, very short. And Mega is on that short list. That list also got a lot shorter. Because if you're a man and you're a rapper and you wear a goddamn skirt, I can't listen to your music. I'm sorry. You do you. I'm just not going to listen to your music. So, and I don't want to work with you anymore. So, yeah, now it's down to Mega. Cash, of course. Twin, that's my homie, in the Fox. So basically, I'm kind of working with everybody who I am willing to at this point. I will not be finger painting anytime soon. I can promise you that shit. So anyway, yeah, this is what I just did. It might have been, I don't even, it might have been yesterday that I finished this one. And it's funny, shout out to my homie Nove, because there are very few people on the planet who know how to push my buttons and to get me to hone in. And he does. And I'll forever be grateful for that, because when you've been in this game long enough and you get people to actually listen to you and shit, people tend to just tell you everything's awesome and nobody will tell you, like, nah, this ain't it, man. Nove is not that guy in my life. He will tell me immediately, this is trash, what the fuck are you doing? So I appreciate him, because he issued the challenge on this particular beat and then popped in a couple hours later and was just like, ah, see, he knew what he did. He knew what he knows. He knows. Him and I have been friends for like 15 years at this fucking point. So, Dot, what up, homie? Welcome back to Beat Boutique. Yeah, I was just thinking about this shit the other day, man. I was waiting for you when you said you started making beats again to start popping in, because without Dot, everybody, 333 TV wouldn't be a thing, because it was with him that I kind of game planned all this and discussed everything, and then he did all the logistics for me. But yeah, without Dot, we wouldn't be doing this shit right now. So shout out to my motherfucking homie Dot. Word. So yeah, we'll see what we'll see where we go with that. Twin is about to enter uncharted territory, though. So any rapper who's ever had the misfortune of being in a booth when I'm at the captain's chair knows shit is not going to be easy. I will not accept anything but the best possible outcome, including from myself. So let's not be tripping here. Like, I expect nothing but the best out of myself in the lab. So, I mean, me and Twin have done numerous sessions together. I actually couldn't put a number on it because I don't know. I mean, Twin was working on an entire album with these French producers, and I did the whole fucking thing. I don't know whatever happened to that album. But many sessions. But not with me calling the shots. It's all just been a feature. Twin needed to lay down 16 for a project. You know, I was just an engineer. I didn't get to call the shots. Now I get to call the shots. So, if you can possibly imagine what the fuck it is I'm going to try to get out of Twin, we shall see. So, I mean, other than that, people, I got nothing else I've been working on. I mean, I have been working my ass off. But I can't play it for you. That should be a good, that you guys should take that as a good sign. I don't know if you understand how to read. Thanks, Roberto. Me and Billy Lines have been getting busy in 2021. That is for sure. Yo, Billy Lines, we have probably knocked out. Let's see. I'll tell you. I will tell you exactly how many we've knocked out this year. I think we've knocked out 25 beats this year so far, Billy. Like, legitimately, like, I think we cranked out around 25 to 30. It's somewhere in there. It's a lot. Billy hit me the other day. He was just like, yo, we run it up on a year anniversary of, you know, getting busy together. And, yeah, we've knocked out almost 30 beats together, dude. I can count right now. Let's see, 18, 22, 20, 23, you gotta think it's somewhere around 25, dude. Well, that's the thing. We finished. See, Billy Lines knows what it's like to work with me now. We've got like 25 that we actually like have pieced together. How many of them that were started and was just like, nah, this ain't it. Nope. Fuck that. Move on. Who knows? But, dude, it's only August. We have been pretty fucking busy this year. I keep thinking it's like December. Be like, December, we knocked out a couple each month. That's pretty fucking dope. Dude, it's in August. We're halfway through the year. So, who knows? We might hit 50 by the... I doubt it. we're kind of up to something right now, and knocking out beats is not necessarily the main focus, if I'm saying that right. Billy Lyons knows what I mean, because we're up to something, y'all. Yo, I know, Billy Lyons, that's the craziest shit. Is since Sunday, we have been fucking busy. I know, on my end, I had to take this afternoon off, dude. I had to go play golf. I have been sitting in this chair since Sunday. But I will tell you, I think we got one, people. I think me and Billy Lyons got one. And the music industry is not an easy one. P always likened buying or making music. Every song is a new lottery ticket, because you never know if it's going to hit. Even if you like it, it doesn't mean it's going to hit. But so every once in a while, if you've been in the game long enough, you'll know when you got one. What you have is an opportunity. Things have to be marketed correctly. All the red tape and hoops have to be jumped through. Everything has to happen in the proper ways. But I think we got ourselves a ticket in hand, homie. We shall see. We shall see. So, I'm not going to sit here and talk for 12 more minutes, and I'm not going to play old beats. Let me see if there's anything. There is one, for some reason, Billy, I don't know why this one would not play in my goddamn iTunes. So add another beat onto that, homie, because 2 Cents is never in the fucking playlist. But I will play this one before we start going through your guys' music, just because I keep forgetting that we did this. But this shit's fucking dope. Yeah, Billy Lyons, that one's special, dude. We got that one. Yeah, Dot. Me and Billy Lyons have been up to something. Well, Billy, it's that one. And, of course, it's between that one and this one, dude. Fire. So it's kind of odd when you got producers who team up together to make beats. So it's like, which role are you going to play within that? And it shifts between each beat. It doesn't. I mean, our roles are pretty much defined. Billy Lyons comes up with ideas. I say yes or no. He continues on ideas. And then eventually he gets to a point where I'm just like, send me it. I'll take it from here. And I might do some production work, usually not a whole lot. I'll do drops and some sequencing. But it's more about the sonic quality after that. It's my job. But those two last beats, we reached the same point at completely different paths. So with 2 Cents, Billy Lodge pretty much did all the heavy lifting on his own. And then I just took it across the finish line. with the last beat that I just played, when he played, he sent me it was just a loop. He's like, I just started on this one. I didn't even wait. I said, send it to me right now. I got it. Like, as soon as I heard it, I already knew where I was going to take it. I was like, I don't need anything else from you. Just send me this, and then I'll take it from here. And as soon as he sent me the stems, I sat for 20 straight hours until I got it to where I wanted it, until I heard it in my head. So, I guess per se on that one, I did most of the heavy lifting. So it doesn't really matter. So I kind of want to see, like, what are those guys' names? Justice League, how they work together. And, you know, I'm friends with Beat Butcher, and, like, I know how they all work together. It's just kind of like people come up with ideas and throw them around. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of different the way I work. Dot, you don't have to act like that, dude. Me and Billy Line spent a lot of time on those two. Like, by the time that we're done with one of these beats, I'll always ask him, like, how much time did you put in on this one? Because then I kind of want to see what the total is, because I usually put between 10 and 20 hours on each of these tracks. I know I usually stream around 5 to 6 hours of it, but you guys don't see all the work that I did up to that point. I usually just stream the same exact point of production. It's like I start to make it sound kind of even, and then writing automation, and then finishing a mix and whatnot. Well, not actually finishing it. That's usually all you see. You guys don't ever see all the work that goes in ahead of time. We did it. It's 3:33 somewhere. I found a way to power through that. It's time to listen to your guys' music. So, Billy Lines, I had to read that email you sent me. I had to read the title real quick. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, this one, we'll call this one Flip Flops. So, Billy Lines, it's 3:33 somewhere. It is time to roll the fuck up and work on your guys' music. Yeah, Dot. Well, I will tell you this. Billy, the last one that we just finished, like literally the last one that I just sent you yesterday, how many hours did you put in on that one? Because I know I spent somewhere around 30 or 40 on it so far. So we might have hit 100 hours on this last one. So anyway, you know what time it is. Send me what you're working on. Send me whatever beats you're making. Let's see if we can make your music better together. So as I roll the fuck up, it's time to get out your mirrors and your dollar bills and do a line. So, Billy Lyons, let me ask you something. Aren't you glad that I'm difficult to work with? Aren't you glad that I was like, nah, it's not good enough? Because this is the first time I've listened to this beat since attempt number 2 on this one. To flip this one. So, yeah, I mean, come on, your beats are fire. But, yeah, I wish that we could play the other side of this equation. So I saw an interview with Anderson .Paak recently, and he said that what impresses him about working with Dr. Dre is he's so decisive. He will tell you instantly if no, this isn't it. Nope, nope, nope. Scrap it. Keep moving. Something else. Try again. That's not it. And I've kind of always been like that. You kind of know instantly whether it's it or not. I've heard Puffy's the same way. Like one of those people that just like as soon as you hear something. Now it's funny because when people would send beats, P would always. I had such a quick trigger, like so quick. I was so quick to just be like, yep, next. And he'd be like, come on, you got to let it break down first. I'd be like, you know, instantly. So, Dot, welcome back to the Thunderdome, homie. It's good to have you back, man. Dot, you might have to make a trip so you could hear some things. You could hear what we've been up to. I'm glad you're making beats again, though, homie. Good job, Dot. Yeah, Sam, Dot's drums are always super, super polished. Super clean. So well timed. Very well done. So, the drum mix is excellent. Excellent job. Perspective mixing, you know, I'm all about it. So, you might want to try the same thing on... Now, if you're mixing inside of FL Studio, I don't know, you're going to have to pan both sides of it because everything's stereo. But try the same thing with the piano. Now, what I typically do is if there's multiple piano sounds in a beat, separate them, especially if one of them's low end and one of them's high end. Don't have both of them stereo. Push the low end to the left side and the high end to the right side so it feels... It's just natural. It's almost part of the subconscious to understand a piano's musical scale from left to right like that, because everybody sat down and just banged on a piano in their aunt's house, or if you're in New York, the shit's on the fucking sidewalks. You know, wherever you're at, everybody's hit a piano at some point. So everybody understands on a piano at the most basic level from low end to high end. So I typically will separate them and pan one kind of to the left and one to the right so that it feels... other than that, dude, the drum mix is excellent. You have enough room around those drums because they're so crisp that you can bring those sustained, haunting tones in the back. You can bring those up a little bit. Because once a rapper or an artist is going to get on that, the drums are so clean that their vocals are going to sit right in the center. There's going to be a gap of space between all those synths and whatnot and where the vocal presence ends. So you can tighten that up a little bit. You can bring those up a little bit. But yeah, as far as the piano thing, you know, I kind of do perspective mixing too, just as a way to separate them so they're not on top of each other. But that drum mix is fucking excellent, dude. Excellent job. It's dope, yo. The mix is clean. It's dirty where it needs to be because of the sample and how things sound and good drum selection, as always. The only thing that I have to say about that is good luck. Good luck with any samples that are recognizable by anybody or any algorithm on the planet anymore. Just good luck. It's I will tell you from personal and professional experience, clearing samples is the hardest fucking thing to do in the rap game. Period. A billion people rap, a trillion people make beats. Good luck clearing samples, especially in today's climate. So a thing that's been occurring lately, especially from older artists, is they've been selling their catalogs. Now, 50 Cent is notorious for buying other rappers' catalogs who have fallen off and need the money. So sometimes you'll have no idea who even owns the sample, and you'll be down this rabbit hole trying to figure out who it is so you can try to clear the sample in some way, or at least figure out what they may want. And I mean, there's sample clearance houses that will help you with that, but just good luck, man. Good luck, man. It'll be crazy. You might hit somebody up and they might say, like, we want $10,000 and 85% of publishing. I'm just like, wait a minute, what? That's a bit much. Puffy is notorious for that, for the samples, like the catalog that he owns. If you want to sample that, he's taking all of it. He's taking all of it. Yeah, you can sample it, but he's taking 100%, and you're gonna have to pay him up front. It is a legal landmine that you gotta try to navigate through. This is why Beat Butcher refuses to use samples. It doesn't matter. You don't send him samples. He just makes his own. Well, I mean, Dot, you should always try to plan on doing something or put beats out at least. I'm just saying. You never know who's listening. You never know, somebody might hear it and want to use it. But I'm just saying, for everybody, if you're taking a professional swing at things, it is best to understand sampling and interpolation and things like that. Like, really understand it so that you can navigate around it. Because everybody who uses samples, once you get big enough, you're going to stop using samples. Unless you're like Kanye, because he can afford to clear everything. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. I do find it interesting that Drake and Alchemist are going to work together. Because it's just like, what the fuck is Drake going to do on an Alchemist beat? Like, Alchemist beats aren't even Alchemist beats anymore. Alchemist beats are like loops. Find some obscure loop and then not put drums on it or something. But what is Drake going to do on an Al beat? I mean, Drake can really rap. He can really write. But, like, if it's like a real Alchemist beat, like, what the fuck's he going to do? What the fuck's he going to do? Like, P rap left-handed, Alchemist makes beats left-handed. I don't know, we shall see. Anyway, back to Dot Beats. Uh, so Dot, it's like how do I explain you? You're like, it's so polished, everything. So you have a very good understanding of how to sequence music to keep it moving forward. Everything is always mapped out properly. Like every decision that you make is the right one as far as sequencing and mapping out your music. So, well done. Does that make sense? It's a big compliment. I've told you that many times. Like you understand how like rap, R&B, like the type of music that we listen to, how it moves and how it's supposed to be mapped out so that it's music. So you tend to always make things musically correct, and that's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, dude. Like, if you understand how to map it out, you've basically already mapped it out for the artist. So there's no, everything just, there's a beginning, a clear, there's movement to it. It begins, it moves, there's a build up, it breaks down, it builds back up, and then it fades out. Like everything is always properly structured. So, and I can tell you've been spending time when you're mixing. So, we got another one. It's called Sasquatch. Let's see if it shakes the ground when it stomps. Where that started and where that just went are two completely different places. You've got to shorten up this intro because that drop is something serious when it first hits. It took too long to get there. 40 seconds is too long. The listeners are stupid. Woo! All right, so Don and I are friends. We've known each other for years at this point. He's been to my house numerous times. So I can be honest with him. You almost have something there. You almost have something. I want you... You can tell me to fuck off, and I'll fully understand. There are parts of that are incredible. But it could be better. The reason I'm saying this is you almost got one. So, you might want to reapproach this one a little bit. The drum breaks are a little bit too busy for this type of beat. Sonically, you could bring all those things up so that it sounds bigger and even creepier, but you almost got it. You almost got it. I want to see you continue working on that one. It is fire, but it could be better. There's still a ceiling on that one. But you should breach the ceiling on this one. You should continue. This one is... When that shit first drops, amazing. It needs more amazing. You can't let off the gas. And I'm not saying more of that, but it needs more. Yeah, Billy Lyons, me and Billy have been doing a lot. I hope he understands what I'm saying, because I've done this to him many times. Like, there's something in there. Yeah, that one, just keep working on that one, dude. You almost got something there. I'm not going to just be like, oh, it's fire. Like, you got, yeah. And then, do nothing with it. That one has potential to make me want to send it to people. Yeah, where's Zoltan at? Sensory, what up, G's? Whoa, the email is in the link at the top. It's 333beatboutique@gmail. It doesn't matter what type of music. I'm not here to evaluate your music as a fan. I'm here to try to make it sound better. Yeah, that Zoltan, that's that scratching shit that he does. But yeah, Dot, keep working on that one, dude. Keep working on that one. You almost got something there. That one's worth continuing going until you've maxed out its potential. I mean, dude, I'm fans of a lot of people's work in here. Andrew, I love his beats. Zoltan, dope. Kraza, his shit is so ill. Christopher Granados, always so polished and light. Such a light touch on his production. Billy Lyons is my 5th favorite producer. So I get set. We've gone through. I have 203 emails in the Beat Boutique email. So each of those 203 probably has a couple beats in them. And so we're talking 300-400 beats that we've done this year so far on this program, and there's been a lot of dope shit. That one could be really dope. That's why I'm like continuing on about it. Like you got something moving. You got something moving. So Dot, since you're back, I will let you pick what song we're going to do tonight. I will let you know which ones are left because we've only got a few left. We can't do snakes because I haven't converted the session yet. We did Broken Apple last week. So, the ones we got left are No Contest, The Good Fight, Motherfucking USA. Man, we pretty much blasted through all of these. It is halfway through August, so it makes sense. We also have snakes to do, but I can't do it yet. We're always fighting the good fight here. Sensory, that's the whole premise of what we do. Let's go with that. This will be quick. So this one is going to be very easy because it was a 2-track experience. Now, I will show you what I was given. So, you know what we always do when we start off these behind the mix sessions? We're going to listen to the track.
Yeah. Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom taught me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. Blow the gauge, I'm off the meter, I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like me. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking, I should have my own genre. You sound like any other rapper, you washed up. The streets taught me how to spot fraudulence. Like as soon as I see it, I already peeped it. You ain't low, motherfucker, roaches, I put the lights on. You should be yourself more, get you more far. The pragmatic life, get a grip on it. Yeah, Fatima gave birth to a warrior. And I'm fighting the good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies. Man, life too quick, I need more time to live, cause I ain't done yet. I'm fighting the good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies. Man, life too quick, we got a lot of things to do. We ain't done yet, no. Grandmama taught me how to lead. Granddad taught me to produce my own beats. Pops taught me to smile. My mom showed me how to roll a joint. Then she gave me Malcolm X to anoint me with black pride. That black power of our ancestors. Strike a nerve when I speak those words. I got Irish blood. Put these bare knuckles on you. Welcome to the fight club. Shoot your gun cause you scared of me. I'm not afraid of that. Time to go and embrace the next plane of existence. But I ain't finished. I serve a higher purpose, don't become nervous. Writers listen to my music and criticize me, but they ain't had to survive the shit that I've been subjected to. They on the outside, where it's safe to watch you look alive. And I'm fighting the good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies. Man, life too quick, I need more time to live, cause I ain't done yet. I'm fighting the good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies. Man, life too quick, we got a lot of things to do. We ain't done yet.
Word, so shout out to Knowledge. Pete was excited about this track because he said he never got to write a song about his mom. He'd written in a lot of songs with his pops and his grandfather and grandmother and whatnot, but he never put his mom in a song. So this was the first one he got to do that with, so he was hyped. Shout out to Knowledge on the beat. So, when I reached out to Knowledge so that I could get the stems for this beat, this is what he sent me. So there's that section and then this part. Which is essentially just two copies of the same fucking thing. So, I thought to myself, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Because here's where it got hilarious. If you listen to this instrumental, there's a lot of Havoc samples in this instrumental. You don't hear him in the goddamn fucking stems he sent me. You don't hear any of the drops either. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on here? So now look at the third file that was in the stems. Like, what is this?
Fucks when the heat I spit, the hammer clap like the ass on the meat I chick. Dump clips like a bit, the hammer clap like the ass on the meat I chick. Fucks when the heat I spit, the hammer clap like bit, the hammer clap like the ass on the meat I chick. Fucks when the heat I spit, the hammer clap like the fuck.
And I'm like, what the fuck is really going on here? So I hit him up and I'm like, alright, so how, like, where are the stems for what P recorded to? And he's like, well, that was it. So I'm like, this is impossible. Well, see, what had happened was he played this beat live. And he was like, I'm not going to be able to, like, make that again. I played it. It was like a live run. So wherever those have samples dropped in, that was like a live thing that he played. It's an excellent job, but he's like... So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going to have to go through and try to find which ones you use, like what part of this you use, and then go put it in there. And also make the cuts like I'm a DJ. I was like, this isn't happening. So what I did, I said, yo, P, we're stuck with the 2-track, homie. And got rid of the goddamn stems. Just like that. And went back to the 2-track. Now, I have always called myself the 2-track assassin. Because in rap, if you're an engineer, you're going to have to work with a ton of 2-tracks. Especially when I was first. People bringing in CDs, like instrumental CDs. You think they're ever getting the stems of those things? No. It'd be like a Dipset CD. Like all Dipset beats. Like, what the fuck are we really doing here? So we were stuck with this. So This is, I believe, yeah, this is the 2-track as was sent.
I'ma clap like
Yeah.
clap. Me that. I'ma clap. Dump clips like.
So, not the worst thing in the world to work with, by any means whatsoever. Totally doable. So, let's begin. Anytime I have a 2-track, I am definitely 1,000,000% using this MV2. You'll see me use it on every single session. This is my favorite compressor to use on something that's got a lot of different sounds jammed into it.
I'ma clap like. I'ma clap. Me that. I'ma clap. Dump clips like.
With these drums that are buried so far in there, knowing the vocals are going to be on top of that, you're going to have to try to find some way to try to dig that shit out. And here we go. Even without me, I just know what I'm in store for in this process. And here we go. Start the dig on the EQ. Look at the giant scoop that was taken out of the middle of this so that P's vocals would have a place to sit.
I'ma clap like. I'ma clap. Me that. I'ma clap. Dump clips like.
There's no room for vocals until you make that scoop.
I'ma clap like.
At this point with this 2-track, I'm really focusing in on the organs and the chords, like the lower end, to try to make them, and that's where this big push is at right around 200. And not so much of all that high end synth, because that's where more of P's vocals are going to sit, and since it's so high end, you can kind of really pull that down. You'll still be able to hear it. It's not going to fight with anything.
I'ma clap like. I'ma clap.
Look, I can already see on the pull tech that I boosted on both knobs. And on the low end knob, it was at 60 because I'm still trying to get that bottom end to really hit properly. And then all the way at 12,000. So that's where the snap on the snare and the hi-hats and everything and that little wood block hit that's in this beat are really going to be at. So bottom end and high end extreme just on this plug-in.
I'ma clap like. I'ma clap.
So what I also used it for is the output, gauge staging or the output of this. Instead of using the fader so much, that if this was at 0, it's going to be probably clip it at this point, since I'm boosting two separate things so much. So always utilize gauge staging throughout your chain, and not so much just at the fader itself to control it. Because when you move the fader, it changes the dynamics on everything in the chain. If you just use the output control on one of your plugins, it's only going to affect the gain stage at that point you're working at.
I'ma clap like.
So I can see one compressor. I use the alloy for its EQ only, Pultec EQ, and then also a Pro Q to finish it off. So it's 3 different EQs on this 2-track. Whatever it takes, doesn't matter.
I'ma clap like I'ma clap. Me that. I'ma clap. Dump clips like dump clips like
So reverb with a 2-track, always a must. It's the only way you can give it some depth.
I'ma clap like I'ma clap. Me that. I'ma clap.
So if you listen to the wood block, just by adding reverb to the 2-track, if you only add a little bit, it's only going to catch the highest transients on your 2-track, and that's going to be the wood block. And then possibly the top end of the snare. So just by adding a little bit of reverb, you can make those things stick out without having to push them in an EQ necessarily.
I'ma clap like I'ma clap. Me that. I'ma clap.
And then I also used the Maserati drum engine in the room mic setting, because I always do. Thanks to, oh shit, I can't remember his name anymore. 20 years ago. Fuck. I remember exactly what he looks like. But he's the one who taught me this method, because he had, instead of using a reverb unit to mix, he set up 2 mics in the live room, way up at the top of the room, like all the way up by the ceiling. And he would pump the mix out through the live room and then record the reverb of the room and then mix that in to his 2-track. That's the only place he had reverb. He wouldn't put individual reverb on things. He just did it as a overall effect. And I kind of mimic that with this Maserati room setting on this drum engine. It's a really cool idea. I've never seen anybody do it, and I've never seen anybody do it since then.
I'ma clap like
So that's literally it on the 2-track. It's all about Pete's vocals at this point. And
dump clips like
Grandmama told me how to. Grandmama told me how to run my own business. To a warrior.
so, as you can see, I'm a big advocate for writing automation. I always do it. I do it for 2 reasons. A, so you don't have to overcompress in order to control the vocals. And then B, I don't want to rely too much on a de-esser, because a de-esser will pull too much down if you have to push it too much, not besides just the sibilance that you need to get rid of. So I tend to scoop out the S's to allow a more natural sound instead of relying too much on a plug-in, because it's just a de-esser. It's just, also you have to understand, this one's not really a big deal because it's a 2-track, so there's not too much going on as far as plugins. But in some systems, you only get so many plugins, especially big ones. They're going to eat up all of your power and space, so you want to limit the amount of processing that you're doing. So I tend to try to do things on my own, and especially if it's P. Like, come on, I'm going to do this all by hand. I want everything done exactly how it's supposed to be done so that it's as close to flawless as it could possibly be.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge. I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying. You ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking. I should have my own genre. You sound like every other rapper. You washed up. The streets talk.
I just had a flashback of just having the monitors or the headphones on while Pete would be in the booth, and that's all I hear is this. So many of these.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance.
So at this point, I'm pretty much, we're nearing the end of the album, and this is one of the last songs that P did anyway. I always said that when he was doing an album, he did this every fucking time. We'd get done with the album, done. And now it's time to listen to it. So I had heard when I worked at Quad Studios, Michael Brower was doing Coldplay's XY album. And I got to hang around in the background, in the shadows during this process, which was awesome. I learned how to do what it is that I do through that process. And Coldplay would take the album when it was done, and they would listen to it for at least a month before they would list all the things that they want to fix in the mixes. And I think on that album, they may have done, it was either 3 months or 6 months. I think it might have been 6 months of listening to it before they came up with a change. And this is why they won Grammys for it, because this is the amount of time and effort that they put into it. But that always stuck with me. So I kind of like, especially on Hegelian, we did that process. We treated it like that. Pete told me while we were recording it and like mix it and putting it together, he's like, I've never done an album like this before, like a studio album, like where you're this, we're doing it like this. I'm like, well, this is how they make like, mega hit records. We're going to do that process. We're going to make a rap album with it. So anyway, he finished the album and we listened to it it was at least a month. And then we sat down and was just like, all right, what do you think? And he was like, all right, so I want to take, how many records was it? I could think of guaranteed at least one. I want to take this record off and I want to add 2 more. He said, because it's just not done yet. It's missing something. And this was one of the 2 records that was added at the end of the process. It was this one, and I think it might have been Bless You. Might have been the last one. Let me think. I know As If was the first edition of new songs. But this one and Bless You, I think, were the last 2. So, let's get to the gig.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge.
Alright, so I've never really done this before, so since this is going to be a quick one, we'll do this. I'm going to roll up anyway. So, when you're compressing vocals, especially with this H comp, I love this compressor for vocals because of the variability it gives you. There's a lot of knobs for a compressor. There's some compressors that have just 2. This is a lot, so there's a lot of control with this one. So, P's vocals are very, very thick. And it's not easy to mix them. It never was. You see it when you hear most people's mixes of his. The vocals sound kind of thin because they just chop it off and get rid of the bottom. Well, there's better ways to do that so that you don't have to get rid of all that presence. Your attack on your compressor is one of the ways to do it. If you shorten your attack and activate the compressor quicker, it's going to sharpen up those vocals to a sharp edge that's coming through if you visualize it. So, on your attack, the larger the attack number means more of the vocals that are getting through before the compressor grabs things and starts doing what it's supposed to do. So if you shorten up the attack and allow the compressor to activate quicker, it gives you a little bit more control and allows you to not have to surgically remove all of the presence of the vocals. If you have somebody that's has a lot of presence in their voice, like P, the Fox, Buck the President. These are people that the vocal presence is everything, so you can't really get rid of it. That's what makes their voice unique.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge, I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking, I should have my own genre.
You see how you're able to control the presence without having to chop it off with an EQ?
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and...
It takes a great balance, and you just have to find the balance between how much of it actually got through, of the presence you allowed to get through and be heard and felt before you squash it down and compress it properly. So you can't run from unique vocals. You have to embrace it. They're there for a reason. It's like that for a reason. That's what makes it what it is. The other thing that I really like about this is if it's not as thick as you want, if you've taken too much off, this punch knob, instead of having to utilize an additional plug-in to add a little bit of punchiness, it's awesome. And you can always tell with me, everything is always so subtle. 0.7, and even go up to 1, and it goes all the way up to 30. So 0.7, everything is so subtle. And this also has an analog harmonic engine in it, which is kind of fucking cool. And I was really experimenting with this knob on this album. So to try to get things to sound different on each track, like I didn't use the exact same signal chain on everything, I really utilized this analog knob right here. There's essentially 5 options, one of them being off, and kind of cycled through these on the tracks to try to give them a little bit of individuality. But since I'm using the same plugin, it will also give the entire project a lot of cohesiveness, which is the entire point. If you're doing a whole project, is you have to make it all sound like it's together. You can't just throw a bunch of songs and say it's an album. That's just a playlist. That's not an album. We were making an album.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge.
So, still utilizing the alloy, especially because the computer that I mixed this album on, when I would do what I'm doing right now, it would take up nearly 90% of my computer to live stream on YouTube and mix in Pro Tools at the same time. The computer I have now, it takes up 8%. So, at that time, I was really on plug-in efficiency, trying not to stress the computer out at all so that I could get this project done myself, just me. So, use the EQ and the de-esser on this one, and also the exciter, which I use very sparingly, but clearly I needed it on this one.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My moms taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge, I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15.
So now what we can do with the EQ is just cut off a little bit of the bottom end. Now typically a microphone is set to shelf everything off underneath the 65 hertz. And I'm rated 60 at the bottom end of this cut, and the top end of the arch is where it really starts to affect things, is still below 100. It's going to be down here. That's not up here. The shelf is happening down here is where the cut is. So I didn't really use it a lot, but boy did I push the bottom end of this EQ a lot. This is funny.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance.
It's also funny to do this with P's vocals as an acapella, because I would never do this like this. The reason that I'm doing so much scooping on this, I'm pointing at it like you can tell what I'm fucking pointing at. Scooping here and here on the top end of the vocals, and then pushing so much here at around, this looks like 8 something, 853, and then here at 260, creating artificial presence after I've shelved so much of it off, is because that's what it took to fit these vocals inside of this 2-track. And I just had deja vu. I hear you, P.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My moms taught me peace.
So, in vocals, especially with this 2-track, the vocals are going to sit all over top of whatever percussion is in there. So you're going to want to go somewhere around 9 to 1200. This one's a little bit more because it's what it required within this 2-track itself, because all you hear is the upper end of the percussion within the drums on this 2-track. So I had to move it up the spectrum a little bit. But you want to scoop this out so that you can actually hear the percussion through these vocals.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My moms taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge, I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying.
You can feel it instantly, the little bit of presence. It's like, so the presence of the vocals that were recorded weren't necessarily going to fit within what the spectrum of this 2-track was going to allow. So I had to get rid of it first and then start building the presence within the construct of the 2-track, if that makes any fucking sense.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My moms taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge, I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15.
Alright, so the vintage RO exciter is a go-to. I use it for every vocals, it doesn't matter. It's all about this noise knob, and you know it.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance.
So the way that I build vocals, you have to think of, this is a 2-dimensional realm that we're dealing with. And if we flip that sideways, like this, we're looking at it like this, you have to start building the vocals so that it becomes this three-dimensional thing, right? So essentially it would be, if we flip it sideways, you would only see this, it would be one plane. None of this would be here. What you're trying to do when mixing vocals properly, at least the way that I do it, is, especially with all the bussing, is building each layer behind that through harmonic engines, aural exciters, tape delays, reverbs, things like this. Through doing that, you can build each layer and create this three-dimensional thing so that even if you, no matter which way you look, it still holds its same form and shape. So if you're able to achieve that, that's the pocket. Well, that's not the pocket, that's the vocals. But if it's a round orb that's properly constructed, the pocket around it is easy. Well, if you're dealing with a 2-track, it's not about the round orb that you're building. It's about whatever pocket you can possibly scoop out of that 2-track and then fitting those vocals into that. It's more like a puzzle piece.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My moms taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge.
Reverb.
A blow the gauge, I'm off the meter, I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I...
It sounds like a lot of reverb in acapella form, but that 2-track has got there's not a lot of space, so you're gonna have to push the reverb to even create that dimensional space that you're utilizing the reverb for. And then delay. Now I'm guessing it's one of 4 numbers: 593.45, 628, 741, or 820. It's not any of those. It's actually set at a quarter note. And 750. 741's pretty close. So it's funny. I learned a long time ago that you don't necessarily have to know the tempo of a song in order to properly set up the delays. That there are numbers that you can put delays on vocals, and no matter what the tempo of the song is, it's going to be right. The first one is 593.45. I don't care what the tempo of the song is. That's usually the go-to on a delay for the lead vocals. It's going to hit perfectly behind it every fucking time. If that's too quick, the next number is 628. The next number kind of varies. It's either 714 or 741. The 4 and the 1 seem to be interchangeable. And then the next one is 820. So if you just start with those numbers, you can really dial in your delays really quickly if you know those numbers. You don't have to sit there and kind of guess, especially if you don't know the tempo. Those first, I cannot remember where the fuck I learned those numbers from. Shout out to whoever taught me that, though. I do not. It was so long ago, and I just always remember showing assistant engineers and interns, like, you don't need the tempo, just use these numbers. They work every time. That one was pretty close. 741, 750 is just a little bit off. It's funny that I did a quarter note with that, because I bet you if I just put 741, it would have hit properly anyway.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My moms taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge.
Exactly, Sensory. This is math and physics we're dealing with, people. It's frequency and numbers. That's it. That's why I like it, because I'm a math nerd.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My moms taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge. I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying.
So, once again, Another harmonics engine. What I utilize the trash thing for, it's harmonic engine and always delicate harmonics.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge.
Plus the filter on this is great. As always, I repeat the things about these plugins if you've never seen any of these behind the mixes. And if you've seen them all, I mean, yeah, just roll up. I'm going to repeat myself a lot because I use the same shit all the time. Thank you, Alchemist, for teaching me that, to just get good, master something before you move on to the next thing, no matter what it is. So, now we go to the vocal bus. And once again, in Pro Tools, always send your vocals to a bus. So you're going to take your vocals, the lead and the double, you're going to put the output to a bus. Assign it, this one was bus 5 and 6. Create an aux bus, put the input as 5 and 6, and when you do it, it's the Pro Tools compressor. It just automatically sounds tighter and more uniform every single time. It's a glitch in the matrix. They did not do it intentionally. It is just something that happened, and it's funny that Michael Brower taught me how to mix records because he's the master of bussing, and it's Pro Tools. If you bus things, it's just going to sound good without you doing anything. So it's like a perfect storm. So anyway, you're going to want to bus your vocals out. Once you do that, then you can also add layering on the bus itself. So 11 and 12 is the tape delay.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge. I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying. You ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking.
So, a tape delay. It's going to be right behind. It's so close. It's so close. It's not like you're not able to stretch a tape delay out. It's an analog function so that you can give things a warm feeling. But there's another thing that you could use it for. Since the delay is so close behind those whatever it is that you're sending to it, you can also utilize it to phase cancel things out on purpose. So you can hear it in P's vocals. They sound a little bit distorted still.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics.
There's spots where it sounds a bit crunchy. We had some tape delay. It kind of gets rid of that.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge. I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying. You ain't never heard of nothing like P.
So if I push this farther, you'll hear it kind of like phase out.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom's taught me peace and love. It made a great balance. My positive and negative.
So if you know anything about phase cancellation, that's what it sounds like. It's been phased out. The poles have been flipped. So you can kind of utilize that in order to tame things. So you can kind of control that phasing and just phase out what you need to. And that's what I use the tape delay for. I don't use it for what it's supposed to be there for. I use it to phase things out. Once again, I preach this. Don't use the plugin for what it says it is. Use it for what it does.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops
So the last harmonic engine that I use is the Maserati harmonics engine. Shout out to Tony Maserati.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to...
And what I use this one for is the presence on the upper end, not the bottom end. just the upper end, and you can hear it instantly.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics.
That's going to allow the vocals to really cut through this thick-ass 2-track that we have to deal with. So with the double, it's just about getting that double compression-wise to fit with the lead.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business.
So now I'm going to go back and do this in reverse, because this is not how I would have done this. I would have done this like this.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom taught me peace and love that made a great balance.
You'll hear each step as it builds into where it's the presence is what it ended up as.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom taught me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. Blow the gauge, I'm off the meter, I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking, I should have my own genre. You sound like any other rapper, you washed up.
We're getting there.
The streets taught me how to spot fraudulence. Like as soon as I see it, I already peeped it. You ain't low, motherfucker, roaches, I put the lights on. You should be yourself more, get you more far. The pragmatic life, get a grip on it. Yeah, the team gave birth to a warrior. Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom taught me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. Blow the gauge, I'm off the meter, I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking, I should have my own genre. You sound like any other rapper, you washed up. The streets taught me how to spot fraudulence. Like as soon as I see it.
Now, I typically don't use a compressor on the master bus. I allow the mastering engineer to do his job, but that's what I did.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom taught me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. Blow the gauge, I'm off the meter, I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking,
huge difference.
I should have my own genre. You sound like any other rapper, you washed up. The streets taught me how to spot fraudulence. Like as soon as I see it, I already peeped it. You ain't low, motherfucker, roaches, I put the lights on. You should be yourself more, get you more far.
Alright, so the reason I did this, if this isn't activated, the doubles really stand out. They aren't kind of uniform as I want them to be. Because since this is like an anthem, like we're marching into fucking battle or something, I kind of wanted it to be more than just one person. Like when the doubles came on. Like, I didn't want them to be so uniform. But I was having trouble controlling them without controlling them too much. So what I ended up doing is compressing everything, and it really kind of put them into the space that I wanted to. It was this rarely utilized tactic on my part.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom taught me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. Blow the gauge, I'm off the meter, I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking, I should have my own genre. You sound like any other rapper, you washed up. The streets taught me how to spot fraudulence. Like as soon as I see it, I already peeped it. You ain't low, motherfucker, roaches, I put the lights on. You should be yourself more, get you more far.
So if you listen to the 2-track, every time Hav's sample comes in, it's not perfectly centered, presence-wise. It's a little bit off to one side. So all of the delays on P's vocals put them on the opposite side of that so that they have their own space. So then you also kind of get the feeling that when those delays would hit at the same time that a have sample comes on, that it's Mobb Deep. This is my thought process. Does that make any sense?
I had to write my own lyrics. My pops told me balance. My mom told me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. But blow the gauge, I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like me. Been jocking my style since I was 15.
So you can see in the 2-track that I wrote automation so that if there were places where have sample would come in and P was like taking a breath, or there was a gap, or you just couldn't hear it because of the vocals themselves, this is the only thing that I did automation wise on the 2-track, is go in and kind of push those, because without it it's not enough. We were really pushed that, so why not? It's like the coolest part about it, this beat, is those have samples. And there was no way I didn't get the stems in a way that I could have possibly used them to mix it properly, so I just had to kind of like fake it like I did.
Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops told me balance. My mom told me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. But blow the gauge, I'm off the meter. I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking, I should have my own genre. You sound like any other rapper, you washed up. The streets taught me how to spot fraudulent.
So in this track in particular, you don't even have to actually worry about breath control. I didn't control shit. I compressed them down to nothing on this one. Usually I compress it to where it's still, you can feel that it's there and not necessarily hear it, so that it doesn't have this weird empty gap. You still need the ambience. On this track particularly, squashed all of them because you're not going to hear it inside of this 2-track. The percussion is so buried within the 2-track that the only way you're going to hear some of it is whenever Pete does take a spot to breathe, so get rid of them. And then I'm also utilizing a lot of delays, so anytime there would be a gap,
my positive and negative charge.
Instead of the breath being there, there's going to be a delay there that's going to fill that gap. So this song particularly, I squashed a lot of them. I kept some of them. You can see, here's one. You're not going to hear it though.
With black pride, that black.
And honestly,
with black pride, that black.
P had a lot of breath control. Was a seasoned vet. A whole lifetime of being a rapper. He's not going to take wild, out of control breaths.
To anoint me with black pride, that black power of our ancestors. Strike.
You heard two of them there, and they're so slight and subtle. And plus, whenever I came into the fold, literally day 2. Day 1, I let him get it out of his system. Day 2, as soon as he went into the booth and it was just me and him in the studio, on like take 2 or 3, I hit stop, I hit the talk back. I was like, you don't have to do that. He's like, do what? I was like, you don't have to push so hard. That's what I'm here for. He's like, word? I was like, yeah, just, make a fist, put that comfortably in between your face and the mic, and that's all the farther you should be. Treat it like it's an ear and you're just talking to it. It's that sensitive. It's a fucking $3,000 microphone. It's going to pick it up. He's like, so I can just talk to him now. I was like, yeah. And the subtleties were really embraced at that point. He didn't have to push, because everyone always told me before P got out of prison, like, they always used an Avalon 737 SP on him because it has a negative gain stage. So on that particular mic pre, there's 0, and then you can go to negative 30 and also positive 30. I don't know what the actual number is, but you can go negative also. So 0 is not actually 0. 0 is just center, like zeroed for them. There's a negative, and P would always, like, he's got a lot of vocal presence, and he would push really hard and yell, and it's like, they'd say you always have to use the negative gain stage on him. I'm like, no, he just needs to understand that you don't need to do that. So after I came into the fold, it was like, that's how an album like Hegelian gets made. That's, I don't want to say softer because it's not the proper terminology, but it's more of a conversation. It's not more of a demand. I think that makes sense.
To anoint me with black pride, that black power of our ancestors. Strike a nerve when I speak those words. I got Irish blood, put these bare knuckles on you, welcome to the fight club. Shoot your gun cause you scared of me, I'm not afraid of that. Time to go and embrace the next plane of existence, but I ain't finished. I serve a higher purpose, don't become nervous. Writers listen to my music and criticize me, but they ain't had to survive the shit that I've been subjected to. They on the outside, where it's safe to watch, you look alive.
Another thing you'll be able to notice, and it kind of just played itself out like that, there'll be spots where what Have says, like the sample that they happen to be in that spot, is completely relevant to what P is saying.
I've been sub to my music and criticize me, but they ain't had to survive the shit that I've been.
You have to survive the shit that I bid, and Have sample says play with the gun. It's like, it was really, I don't know if P wrote it like that, was played with those samples, kind of like it's a Dipset song, because Dipset kind of did that first really heavily, but it sure worked out that way with this one. So the only other thing about this song is the hook process is the exact same, except there's 2 layers. That's it, and you're trying to get it to where those 2 kind of sound like one. Now with this particular song, it was a fight to try to, it took me a while to get these hooks to sit properly.
And I'm fighting a good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies. Man, life too quick, I need more time to live, cause I ain't done yet. I'm fighting a good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies.
See, those Have samples fit perfectly.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies, dope clip like. Everybody dies, play with the guys. So dope, man. Rap music is so fucking dope. But yeah, it took me forever to get these hooks, once there were 2 of them, to sit properly. This is one of those things on this record you would think, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 tracks and 9 buses. That's light work. I can actually expand this session and look at it as a full one. I don't have to like minimize it. That's light work. I usually have like 12 buses. You would think, considering that it's a condensed amount of pieces in this puzzle, that it was an easy puzzle. It's the exact opposite. Of course, there's overkill when you can have 50 tracks, and it's just like, this would be a lot of fucking work. But what you will actually find is when you have so few pieces to work with, and you spend way more time on a session, because you will sit there and chisel away at those few pieces, one molecule at a time if you have to, until it gets to the right spot. And sometimes it takes fucking forever, because that's the only way to do it with so few pieces. Sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll just fall asleep and wake up and hit a button and there's your answer. Embrace those moments because they're rare. Being a mixing engineer, if you're serious about it, is an exercise in patience. You have to be willing to shave things off literally one molecule, 0.1 dB at a time, until things fit. And do that over and over and over again. And I can never stress enough how much the ability to listen to the same thing on repeat for hours in a row is crucial. It is a skill set. You can develop it through repetition and time. The more music you work on, you just get used to it. But it takes a special type of alien, I guess, to be able to listen to something on repeat for 12 straight hours and not get tired of it. Like 12 hours into it, still be engaged. Like, no, I'm still working. I'm still focused, still attentive, still understanding the changes that I'm doing, because you can mix yourself into a corner. You can have gone so long that you do get ear fatigue, and you'll be doing things just for the sake of doing things and making it worse. And then you have to go fix all that the next day. So I guess it's, some people mix like it's a sprint. Some do it like it's a mile. And some people do it like it's a super marathon. Your ability to listen to something on repeat dictates what type of race you're running. That's the analogy I'm running with. And that's how I did The Good Fight. There's no way I was going to be able to keep doing that until 11:33. It's impossible. I got nothing else to talk about. I told you it was going to be a quick one. So, yeah, we're halfway through the month. If you want to join in on August Beat Battle and have your chance at landing a beat with Big Twin, hit me up, DM me, or Instagram, or email me. Fuck. And get this month's sample pack. So, this month's sample pack has 49 samples in it, I believe. Maybe more, because within this one there is a bunch of samples. But yeah, hit me up and there's some of them I really like in here. Yeah, fuck clearing samples, man. Just get sample packs from producers. Make sure that they're not in the fine print, that they don't take a huge cut out of whatever it is that you end up making. You know, with my sample packs, dude, just get them and make music. I don't give a fuck. I hope you become a trillionaire. I really don't care. I don't want anything from you. I'm just here to hold it down for P. And this is just one of the ways that I figured I could do it. So, yeah, hit me up if you want to join the beat battle. If you win, not only do you get possibly a placement with Twin, it will enter you into the year-end 333 Beat Boutique Beat Battle, where the winner is going to get a 333 custom MPC and some other shit. So, shout out to Billy Lines. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, that's it. I got nothing else for you. I can't keep talking. I'm going to hang out with the wolf. So, you guys know, as always, I'm up to something. Literally, keep fighting the good fight, because that's the song we did tonight. Today's Thursday. I have some dope things I need to do. So I'll see you guys Saturday night for RIP TV. Until then, keep making dope music. Billy Lines, we will be in touch, homie. Dot, it's good to see you, G's. Everybody else, I appreciate your time. Anybody that comes and hang out with me, it's amazing, because you could literally be doing anything else on the planet and you're here. So,
He's one of the dopest engineers in the game. The head engineer exclusively for Prodigy of Mobb Deep. 10 Prodigy of Mobb Deep albums. The Hegelian Dialectic. The Book of Revelation.
It's a pleasure, man. That body of work is crazy. I mean,
Joe the engineer. Now we do this shit, nigga. 333. That's a sign from the heavens. Just look up in the heavens. Look up in the heavens. Where the fucking wind at?
One of the dopest engineers in the game.